You're pathetic. You are pathetic. Rangers lose 3-2 to the Seattle Kraken in overtime, and this point is it is so undeserved. It's laughable how bad this team truly is right now, and that was probably the most pathetic effort we have seen thus far this season. It is up there, and I don't care about some of the other losses. I really don't. The way that they played this game, it's amazing that they actually brought this thing to overtime. It's unreal. And once again, Igor bailing them out with points yet again. That's all it came down to tonight, right? Right? Because if Igor was not making the stops he did, oh boy, this game would have been a blowout. I don't know what we do anymore here. I don't know the answer. I don't. Before we jump further into this, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. But I don't know what we do here anymore. I don't. I truly don't. Different line combinations. Nothing is working because everyone's saying, oh, the easy solution, move Kakko and Lafreniere back into the top 6. How did that go earlier in the year? Everybody's saying, oh, well, switch up the D pairs. They tried it. How did that go? There is a problem from coaching, leadership, and personnel from top to bottom in the organization. Want to start at the top? Chris Drury, piss poor management throughout the offseason. Piss poor. Where do we start? Overpaying a fourth liner, $3.6 million in the previous offseason, the handicap you this offseason. You have just piss poor roster moves, deciding to keep certain guys over others, keeping a healthy scratch $1.7 million player over Tyler Mott, over Kevin Rooney. This team, though, should not be missing Frank Vetrano and Andrew Kopp this much. They should. They should not. And if you are really missing those guys that much, something has to change. If those two were the difference makers for your lineup, something drastic has to change. It's too late for the early in the season thing. And I don't want to hear that I'm being over dramatic here. I don't hear. Because how long have we been running with this leadership group and we've seen similar efforts year in and year out? Outside of last year where they all had career years. But even then, Panarin, we haven't seen him play solid defensively, which, by the way, killed them tonight. Haven't seen him play a strong enough defensive type game since he first arrived here. We haven't seen Kreider show up consistently, night in and night out, has the quietest 15 points ever. Mika at even strength, can't score goals. He's looked good, fine defensively especially, but still hasn't. Jacob Trouba, your captain, where has he been? And he's progressively gotten worse throughout the years. And he hasn't even been noticeable since he's walked through the door on this team. This dates further back than this year. That is my problem. For everyone that wants to say it's early, for everyone wants to say, oh, I'm being over dramatic, this and that. This is a problem that dates back to the 1920 season at this point. And I don't know if it's coaching, personnel or what, or leadership or not. But nobody's holding anyone accountable here. Nobody. And Gallant, what has he been doing? Because every game, they're starting off slow. They never show up on time. They end games piss poorly. They are never prepared to start a period either. Are you kidding me? Except for the third period. First period, garbage start. Second period, garbage start. Even worse start, I should say. They don't come out prepared. Ever. Ever. And they don't close out periods well either. They don't. They almost choked this one in regulation too. They almost did. Something has to change. I'm sick and tired of watching this on a nightly basis. Because it's laughable. It's truly laughable. These are the type of teams you're supposed to be beating if you have cup aspirations. It's that simple. And you still have 3 more piss poor opponents. Now you better get it together. Because 2-2 was an unacceptable record in my mind coming into this road trip. Now you have to salvage these last 3 games. If you lose 1 more, good luck. Good luck. Good luck. You're going to have to play a serious hot stretch of hockey later down the stretch if you drop in this road trip. And the problem is nothing's going to change until this road trip's over. Whether it's Gordon Murphy as a defensive coach, having these guys play piss poor defense. How many times were defenders just leaving forwards behind them tonight? How many? How many? The defensive structure is abysmal. It's non-existent. Non-existent. We didn't even get to the game. Because what's the point? What is the point? Here, you want the game summary? Here you go. Schneider turns the puck over right to Will Borgen. He got to fire off a shot. Jared McCann, I almost said James McCann. Oh my God, I'm still in baseball season, huh? Jared McCann tips that one in. Igor maybe could have had it, but great deflection goal. 1-0. Rangers end up tying it up. Trocheck kicks the puck down low to Kreider. Beautiful little kick pass there. Kreider dishes it across to Mika. Buries that one. And I believe that one was on the power play, if I'm not mistaken. And third period, 3-on-2 comes the other way. Philip Hedl, garbage turnover, no point pressure whatsoever, as per usual. Schultz just fires one on and it goes in. Rangers once again screening their own goalie. And the Rangers ended up tying it late on a 6-on-4 opportunity. Fox threw a shot on goal that went off of Barclay Goodrow, and Trocheck buried the rebound 2-2. Overtime, Panarin lets the guy get right behind him, that being Jordan Eberle. Eberle dishes it across. Keandre Miller's in no man's land. Schultz ends up burying the goal. There, that's your summary. Because what is the point of me talking about anything else that happened in this game? Do you want me to talk about Libor Hayek getting cooked in the neutral zone, allowing chances? Do you want me to talk about Keandre Miller screening his own goalie and not willing to block a shot? Are these the things that you want to hear me talk about? Because I feel like a broken record talking about defensive lapses night in and night out. Do you want me to talk about the boneheaded penalties? 2 offensive zone penalties? A bench minor tonight? How do you take a too many men and 2 trippings in the offensive zone in one night? In one game? How? How? You don't deserve to win that game. You don't deserve when you play defense like that either. Panarin, lazy defensive plays tonight. Lazy. And how many times did they try forcing, especially Panarin, the east-west pass to enter the offensive zone? Why? Why are you trying it nonstop when it hasn't been working? How many different line combinations are we going to go through here until we realize that this isn't a line combination problem? Maybe Gallant, maybe just make an adjustment to your system that you apparently have. Because I don't even know what system you have. Nobody does. Maybe try making an adjustment there. How about instead of being all loosey-goosey and, yeah, go out there and have fun, everyone? How about a bit more of accountability? Bit more guts. Because the team doesn't have it. Coach doesn't have it. Captain sure as hell doesn't have it. Nobody has it. Just awful. Just awful. That first period, you outshot them 14-6. You played garbage, though. It's amazing how you could outshoot a team 14-6 and look so putrid. Second period, even worse somehow. Third period, they showed up for a bit of the start of it, and then they just took their foot off the gas after 2-3 minutes of the period. You're not winning that hockey game. And then overtime, Gallant elects to throw Trouba, VC, and Goudreau out there. Where was Lafreniere and Kakko? What was the point of this rebuild? What was the point? I mean, why? Why go through it if these guys are not going to get put in the best positions to succeed? When they've been two of your better forwards all season long. Miller and Trouba were awful. I mean, the amount of times that I have in the notes that I'm looking at right now, letting Wenberg walk in, letting Schultz walk in. I mean, you're letting defensemen walk in. Bjorkstrand. Do you see the issue? Panarin, Lane, Burakovsky walk in. That's pretty much the notes, if anyone wants to know. Pretty much all I got down today is turnover, more turnovers, letting forwards behind you, letting more forwards behind you, and lazy defense, and more lazy defense. You didn't score 1 5-on-5 goal tonight. Not one. You don't deserve to win the game. Shots were 32-30 in favor of Seattle. You shouldn't have even got 30 shots. You're lucky. You're lucky. 55-45 in favor of Seattle on the faceoff dot. Power play, 2 for 4. And even then, the power play looked putrid at times tonight. I mean, how many times did they look awful? They looked better shorthanded tonight. That's when they were generating their most chances and actually looked good defensively. It's bonkers. 24-22 in hits, though, for the Rangers. Woohoo. Nine block shots to 14. I mean, there were too many times that the Rangers refused to block shots. Way too many. One giveaway for the Rangers. I'm not sure about that. And then 10 for Seattle. Not sure about that. The turnovers stats there. That doesn't seem right. But what do I know? What do I know? Kreider, Zibanejad, and VC. Zibanejad was probably your best forward on that line. He still took a boneheaded penalty. And still isn't scoring 5-on-5. But I can't blame him when Jimmy VC's his line mate. Didn't have an awful game, but he is a depth forward. He was brought in on a PTO as a depth forward. And then he has Kreider, who is done. You hear the crickets? That means nothing. The second line, Panarin, Trocheck, and Laffy. Trocheck, probably the best forward on that line. Yet again, a center. And outside that, why do I keep saying Laffy on that line? Oh my god. Barclay Goudreau. Keep doing that every night now. Barclay Goudreau, though. He's fine as a depth Forward. He's not good enough to be in the top 6. Why aren't you playing Julian Gauthier there? When is Kravtsov coming back? Trocheck, even with him, I mean, how many times did he break into the offensive zone and just fire wide on an opportunity or fire high? But he was probably the best forward on that line. And then Panarin was awful. I mean, he was so atrocious tonight. The laziness in the offensive zone on that penalty, embarrassing. The laziness on defense, especially in overtime, letting Jordan Eberle walk right by you. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. The third line was not even good tonight. Lafreniere, Hedl, and Kakko. Hedl was awful tonight. And that turnover, unacceptable. Unacceptable on that second goal. And he looked awful tonight. They were all together. I mean, how many times were they held in the defensive zone? No one was good on that line. Nobody. Kakko was probably the best if I had to pick one. But that doesn't say much. They were awful. They were horrendous. I guess that's why none of them were out there in overtime. Which, hey, good on Gallant for holding players accountable. It'd be nice if you did it with your top 6 too, instead of coddling them just because they're leaders. These leaders feel too safe. Don't let them feel too comfortable here. Actually punish them when they make boneheaded plays. And not the whole, what you did with Chris Kreider, demote to the 4th line, and then throw him out there for overtime in that Detroit game. 4th line, useless. I mean, Blais, Carpenter, and Gauthier, what'd they really do? I mean, Gauthier drew a penalty, which led to that last-minute goal. Sure, I guess Gauthier got us a point tonight. What have Blais and Carpenter done? What have they done? Anybody have answers? Because I don't. Lindgren and Fox, probably the best defensive pair of the night. Still not good enough. Still not good enough. There were times where they were lazy on the back check, times where they were letting guys behind them, but that was every defensive pair. They just did the least amount. So if that's what we want to hold them to now, I guess that's what we could. If we're gonna baby these guys like Gallant does. Miller and Trouba need to be broken up. It's embarrassing how bad these two are right now. And Jacob Trouba, I don't know if he's the reason Keandre Miller's being dragged down or what, but Keandre Miller has not been the same since the beginning of the season, the second half of last year. He has not been good enough. He hasn't. And that play in overtime was abysmal. He's in no man's land. And Trouba just boneheaded decisions night in and night out. And then Hayek and Schneider were awful too. That turnover by Schneider, awful. Awful. And Hayek, how many times tonight did he let guys behind him? He broke up a breakaway. Good for him. Good for him. And then Igor did everything he could. And I don't blame him for slamming the door there on the way off the ice. Or on the way to the locker room. I don't blame him. Now you play San Jose. God help me. Black Dog RVA, we're getting the Twitter now, by the way. Black Dog RVA says, when was the last time the New York Rangers player just grabbed the puck, drove to the slot, and ripped the goal? The offense almost always curls out instead of in towards the net. We hung on for the point, but we should be winning these games. Clock's ticking, Broadway. Agree with the last part. Clock is ticking. Clock is ticking, and I'm tired of hearing the whole it's early in the season stuff. No. No. And even then, like, you don't get a pass for it's early in the season. If you're a team with cup aspirations, you don't get a pass for that. We're beyond that now. And yeah, I agree. Their offensive zone approach is awful. They seem to be running out there like a bunch of headless chickens. They don't know what they're doing, and it's embarrassing. I mean, how do they look better shorthanded? Actually getting chances off the rush. Even cycling the puck at times in the offensive zone, shorthanded. Where is that 5v5? Even on the power play. I don't understand. Dalo says, I missed the first 10 minutes of the first period, but the kid line didn't look good at all tonight. Poor Igor. We still struggle to score 5-on-5. Yeah, you summed it up perfectly. The kid line was awful tonight. Awful. I can't even remember really a good shift that they had. I think their second shift of the game was decent. And I think there was one in the second period they had that was pretty decent. That's about it. They still looked awful tonight. You need more from them. And yeah, not scoring 5v5 continues to be an issue. And you're lucky that you missed the first 10 minutes. Granted, doesn't matter. They didn't play good at all. And then BD3 says, we look like a lottery team. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have much else to say. I'm dreading this game against San Jose. I feel bad for everyone that has that stays up for these games. We stay up for what? What are we staying up for? If anyone, I don't blame anyone if they don't watch next game after this because they don't want to stay up for a mess like this. I'm here for you guys. I'll watch the game. I'll do the suffering. You come to my recap. I always say it, and I mean it because this West Coast trip is brutal. And they're playing like garbage. Just go get your sleep. And I am here for you guys. That is going to be it for me, though. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. I'm a complete mess from this team. Remember to leave a like if you enjoy and subscribe if you guys are new. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. I will see you in the next one. Let's go Rangers, I guess.